steam coming from his ears. People are pissed about this. We talk about the country being divided and divisive. This ain't helping whatsoever. You want to pull up Mark Levin?
Keep what you just had there. No, go
Pretty
back
insane.
to what you had on.
So then you have the Democratic left or the woke left. If you go there, they are ecstatic. They are happy to see this. This is what they wanted, and they want more of this. It's like Trump, and the fetish is not going down whatsoever. Then you have the people.
This is like Trump.
And I would say I'm in that camp that's like, all right, this seems a little witch hunty. Let's let the facts play out. Let's see what happens here. This is, you put up a poll up there, how much you trust the Justice Department. I'm assuming that there's going to be a lot of people that do not trust what is going on here. And the record is not good for what's going on in Trump world as far as going after the guy and really finding nothing. But you touched on it, Pat. They're going to stop at nothing. And then 18 months from now, if he's not winning the election or even running the election, they're going to be very happy to see this. Last point, this is the cover of Time magazine this week, right? I don't know if you can see this. It is a picture of Ron DeSantis.
The sanctimonious.
And it's what Ron DeSantis means for America, and it is him peeling an orange.
Ron DeSantis peeling an orange. They got a picture of him on the Time magazine peeling an orange. They even have the color of his skin orange like Trump's, if you can see. And he's peeling an orange. Well, he does run, the state that's known for their oranges, Florida, you know what I mean? So that could be a play on that right there, but it can also be a play on I've made the right connections and the right relationships and the right partnerships to destroy the orange guy. You want to call me Ron the Sanctimonious? This right here is like it's like something like I'm real. Well, I used to be heavy into hip hop, and every Tuesday at Circuit City, because I don't know if y'all remember this. If any young people are looking at this, they probably won't even know what the hell I'm talking about. But they used to sell DVDs and CDs on every Tuesday in Circuit City. In most record stores, they had their special days where they did it, but Circuit City specifically was Tuesdays, right? So we would go there, and we would just go there sometimes just to look at the new XXL magazines or the new Source magazines that came out because of who was posing on them and what type of subliminals they were trying to send through the posing on the magazines. And on the CD covers, like most people who had a CD out, like when Biggie was beefing with Tupac, they would have subliminals on their CD covers the way that they was posing. Or Snoop Dogg, I know a whole lot of you understand who Snoop Dogg is. The way he used to pose on his albums or his drawings of him on his albums, because a lot of them was like cartoonish, like, right? But they meant something. They meant more than what most people like. When you first look at it, you just think, oh, this is just cool design right here. But when you really look at it and try to understand what's behind it, you will see that Ron DeSantis is sending a message to Donald Trump on this one right here, letting him know that the people that you're beefing with, they work for me. They want me to be in office. He's probably going to take more shots at Donald Trump too, man. I don't know. This is what happens. Here's one thing I want y'all to understand, guys. When you do things with integrity and good character, you will be attacked. Okay? That's just being one of God's children. This demonic and dark world does not like when you buck the system. They play dirty. If you're acting like you're too good to play dirty, that's an assault on their characters. That's an assault on their integrity. Like, whoa, you think you better than us? You think you better than us? Yeah, that's how it comes off to them. So I'm just saying, it might not be anything to look into, but just saying.
Touch on a double entendre.
That's very layered. That's very layered.
He's in Florida, the orange, the Sunshine State. But also, there's a big bad orange man that he's looking to unpeel and take down. So I think that's sort of the media's narrative, is that they would love to see Trump out of this thing and DeSantis in there. Let's not forget one thing. At the end of the day, this is the first time in this nation's history that a former president has been formally charged by the federal government. The Stormy Daniels hush money situation was New York State, Alvin Bragg, everything with that. He campaigned on that. At the end of the day, I think it's a sad situation. I think at the end of the day, the number one word that keeps popping up, whether you're on the left or on the right, is accountability. What's the accountability here? Trump being held accountable? Is Biden being held accountable? Is accountability is being distributed evenly?
No.
I know a lot of people on the right do not think that
Adam, don't you feel that?
No, it ain't a lot of people on the right do not think it. No. The answer is hell no. Accountability is not being equally, doled out. It's not at all. The ones they want to protect is being protected, clearly. We have not seen an FBI agent raid anything that belongs to Biden at all. And there's a reason for that. Because if they do, they can lose their jobs. Simple and plain. I got mouths to feed. I got a family at home. You think I'm going to go against my own I'm going to go against my own supervisor? He the president. Nah, at all. We're not even talking about the money situation with Biden at all. As a matter of fact, when we do talk about it, we'll talk about it as if it's just some type of made up conspiracy theory that the right is trying to drum up just to stop us from focusing on what's real. And what's real is that Trump is a criminal. That's it.
It's just one side accountability. Like one side gets away with literally murder. One side is it's not just one side. It's Trump. It does seem all Trump, dude. It's literally all Trump. And my question was, bro, when are Americans actually going to do something? All we do is talk, Pat. All the right does is bark. When are the people actually going to get involved? And I'm not talking about January 6th BS where they show up and FBI agents are like, hey, let's run into the Capitol. I'm talking about like in Europe, Pat, when Brazil and all those protests, there was millions and millions of people in the street saying enough is enough. What do you think it's going to take for us? Like, what, Pat, every day is another story of Biden can do whatever he wants. They can do whatever he wants. Hillary can do Russia collusion and all that. When is going to be the breaking point? Or are we too soft? And going back to what Tate always talks about, the masculine men, they're getting rid of all these guys. Those guys are just soft now. Nobody's going in the streets. It's just, I'm going to post a vlog. I'm going to go on and I'm going to post something on Instagram. When is enough, Adam? What do you think is going to be that breaking point?
I'll let Pat answer this, but I think he already hit on it. Once Trump is no longer in the race, boom, they're done with the guy. But while he's in this race, they do not want to see this guy be the president, period, end of story.
They will go after DeSantis, but at a tenth of what they're doing with Trump. Not even close.
Right.
Again, for me, one of the things we were talking about is in Glendale Unified School District. By the way, Glendale, if you're listening to this, we talked about you on Tate's interview, and we have a lot of respect for those parents, man. I mean, I saw one of these clips, which I'll send to you, Rob, here in a minute, and we'll talk about that. The biggest thing is you not being afraid of taking a stand. You not being afraid of taking a stand against what's taking place. There's a part of it where if Glendale Unified School District is sick of it, if they're sick of what's taking place, if they're sick of all the mess that's taking place, you have to go on a strike. It got so bad that the board member shows up and says, hey, what do we need to do to get you guys to stop protesting? You know what the mother said? Now what do you want to do? What about when we first asked you and we talked about this, you didn't listen to us. Now you want us to stop? Now because it's embarrassing what you guys are doing? No. Now we're going to keep talking about this until you stop. And one guy comes in saying, we have, death upon Christian fascists. I don't know if you saw this clip or not, Rob. I showed it to you guys. Yeah. This one guy gets up there and says, death upon Christian fascists. And he's a guy that's holding, anyways, I'll find it here in a minute. We'll go through it. But people have to, when you do something like this, you're eventually going to wake people up, and they're eventually going to say, I am not going to tolerate this. This is Glendale right now. If you look at this, look at the fights. If you can click on it so they can hear the noise, look what the guy says. Turn on the audio. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, wow.
Dude, look at that.
They're not giving you audio?
Because, Pat, that's Antifa too, Pat. Yeah. Antifa was there getting their asses whooped.
PBD, this is where you grew up. Yes?
Listen, if there's one thing about Armenians, if you do anything to their mothers and their kids, it's game over.
Yep.
This is a very different kind of a culture. This is the types of people you want to have drinks with, you want to have conversation with, you want to spend time with, but God forbid you do anything to their kids. And they're starting to see it right now.
That's how it should be.
It's common sense, by the way. Don't mess with my kids. One of the mothers asked the question. I have to find these clips to show it to you. One of the mothers asked the question and says, why do we have to teach a 4-year-old about what a transgender is? Why do we have to teach a 4-year-old? A 4-year-old. What does a 4-year-old have to learn about being a transgender? Nothing.
Zero.
A 4-year-old has nothing to do to learn about what a transgender is. But they're doing these kinds of things. One Armenian guy was standing across this guy, and this other guy was saying, you know, death upon Christian fascists. And the guy turns around and says, really? He says, you want to burn the American flag? He says, yes. He says, you want to burn the American flag? Do you have that clip? Did I send it to you or not?
I wish I could show that. It was incredible.
He says, you want to burn the American flag? He says, why is it such a big deal if we burn the LGBT, the pride flag, but not a big deal if you burn the American flag? Why is that okay? And anyways, there was a back and forth with them. Yeah. But my point to you is, you got to stand up for your values and principles, especially at a point like this when insanity is taking place.
Mm-hmm. The conversation changes when someone says, you hurt me. When somebody says you hurt me, now you're forced to listen to, whoa, I hurt you. How did I hurt you? What do you mean I hurt you? You hurt me by not accepting my gender, not accepting my children's gender or future genders. I'm great how I am, and I don't mind raising up other kids who think like me. I've been through things, and I love who I am. It's gotten to a point right now, man, where it's almost impossible not to talk to kids about this right now. These different situations, transgender situations and whatnot. I love everyone, and I do believe that people should love who they are from birth, 1,000%. All right? That's just how I feel. It's gotten to a point, though, that you can't even teach the kids. It's disrespectful to teach the kids about the birds and the bees. It's just crazy now, man. And as if our children are already confused as hell as it is. They're young. They have so much coming at them at one time. They're growing. They got to be told what to do. They got to be protected. They got to be taught. It's like there's so many different things. They don't know who's protecting them because they love them. They don't know who's protecting them because they hate them and don't like them. They don't know these things. And the fact these adults don't understand that, and they're not making sure that they fully protect these children, it's beyond me, man.